Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Super Gaming Minute, the channel dedicated to all things Nintendo and gaming. In today's video, I want to go over the rumored September Nintendo Direct and talk about the possible date that we may see it. I also want to talk about what we might see at this event and why we should all be excited. But before we get into the video, don't forget to give this video a like if you are excited for the rumored September Direct. Comment down below what your hopes for the Direct are, and of course, the most important thing that you can do is subscribe to Super Gaming Minute if you like talking all things Nintendo and gaming. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright guys, as we know, unless you don't know, and if you don't know, you should know, we're already into the second week of September and we still don't have any word from Nintendo about a September Nintendo Direct. The expectation was that it would be on the 8th of September, and that obviously isn't the case. So, will we get a September Nintendo Direct? And when can we expect to see it? Well, as most Nintendo fans sit and wait patiently for Nintendo to finally surprise us with the much anticipated event, I thought I would do some research and see if I could find anyone talking about when we might see it. Doing the research, I came across a leaker who has given an update about when they believe we may see the Direct. Before I get into who the leaker is and the information concerning the Nintendo Direct, I want to get one thing out of the way first. So, I mentioned in a previous video that I will no longer be taking the word of Nintendo leakers unless I believe 100% that what they're saying is the truth. I just don't want to report on rumors that have no basis and only leave Nintendo fans upset. Whether or not this leaker is right about these dates, I do 100% believe that we are going to be getting a Direct this month. It makes sense with Nintendo's timeline. For instance, Nintendo always seems to host a September Direct. They even hosted one in 2020, a year where they literally hosted nothing and literally just shadow dropped all of their titles, with the exception being 2015 for whatever reason. I don't know why they didn't have a September Direct there, but they just didn't. Not only that, but there are strong rumors and reports of Nintendo revealing their next console on Nintendo Switch Online, and it would make sense for them to do so this month, as this is when most people's Nintendo Switch Online memberships roll over into the next year. Next, Nintendo confirmed that it will not be at the Tokyo Game Show, which will run from September 30th up until October 3rd, and this is most likely due to the fact that Nintendo has already planned their own showcase in the form of their Fall Direct. The last reason being is that this Direct will completely set up Nintendo's fall lineup and what we can all expect from Nintendo for the fall and the following year. But back to the leaker. In a thread on Twitter, the leaker Samus Hunter, who has a pretty solid track record when it comes to announcing unannounced Nintendo news, said that the next Nintendo Direct could happen next week. Now, I love that he said could happen, because if it doesn't happen, wording it that way definitely leaves room for him to be like, oh yeah, I said could happen. I never said it would, blah blah blah. By now, I'm sure we are all convinced that Nintendo will at some point drop a new Direct this month, so this isn't really news, but I do believe that next week is most likely when we will see the Direct. If you take a look at the last 7 years, excluding 2015 as we talked about, the majority of Directs were held in the latter half of the month, with the exception of a couple, of course. Now, Samus Hunter mentioned earlier in the month saying that they expect this Direct could happen after the launch of the new WarioWare game that releases on the 10th of September. Samus Hunter gives a reasoning for this, and I'm quoting, "Way back in July, I said around the WarioWare launch, the 8th or 9th is still possible, but I personally expect the week after because of other presentations and the game review period / launch." Now this also makes a lot of sense. Wait for the hype to die down on the newest release, wait for PlayStation to get their State of Play event out of the way, and then go into the new lineup of Nintendo releases. Now onto the most important part. What games should we expect to see at this Direct? Well, we've basically seen everything there is to see from all upcoming new Switch titles. Metroid Dread has been showcased all throughout the last few months since it was revealed at E3. Breath of the Wild 2 got its first big gameplay trailer, and Pokemon just had its own Direct, giving us information on the new Diamond and Pearl remakes as well as Legends Arceus. So what's really left to talk about? Well, for one, we need to hear about the final Smash Bros. Character coming to the game. It's always the first thing Nintendo reveals, and it's exciting and even a little bittersweet that this could be the very last entry in the series. Who do you think this character will be? Will it be someone way out of left field? Or will Nintendo finally hear us and give us Waluigi? Comment your pick for Smash's final character in the comment section below. Come on, Nintendo, don't disappoint us with this last entry. Next up, Splatoon 3 has only had a single reveal trailer with a tiny bit of gameplay, but no real information on the game itself. So I would bet on having Splatoon 3 showcased during this direct. I would also bet on Nintendo adding to their Nintendo Switch Online retro game library with the addition of Game Boy titles, Game Boy Color titles, as well as a possible other retro console, possibly Game Boy Advance, or even more unlikely, the N64. Now, earlier in the year, there were rumblings of two of Nintendo's longest running IPs making their way back onto the Switch and back into our living rooms. The first and the most exciting to me would be the rumored new Donkey Kong game from the team who developed Super Mario Odyssey. Now, these rumors are claiming a 2D adventure without the country moniker, which is fantastic, and I would totally buy a new DK 2D platformer, especially since the last title was that good. But I think it would be a bit of a waste not to give this team the task of making a brand new 3D Donkey Kong game, given the success of Super Mario Odyssey. I believe that they would really do the franchise justice and make up for DK64, which, according to everyone but me, saying that the game hadn't aged well. The next rumored game is a new Kirby title. Now, for me, Kirby is hit or miss. I have a lot of fun with Kirby's Dream Land 1 and 2, as well as Kirby All-Star on the SNES, which is one of my most beloved SNES games. But if I had to pick, I would want a new Kirby 3D game. I just love a good 3D platformer, as you guys can tell. Now, the chances of us getting an open world 3D Kirby platformer is slim to none, but why not hope? Now, those are my picks for what I believe we'll see, and a couple of options of what I hope to see. Let me know your picks in the comments section down below. Alright guys, and that's it. Are you still holding on hope for a September Nintendo Direct? And if so, when do you think we'll see it? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also guys, don't forget to like the video if you're excited to hear what games we should look forward to this fall and beyond. Plus, liking this video gets into the hands of other people who are interested in this topic. But the most important thing you guys can do is subscribe to Super Gaming Minute if you like talking all things Nintendo and gaming. And lastly, thank you guys so much for watching the video. As you all know by now, I truly appreciate all of you. Thank you for sticking around to the end of this video, and as always, keep on gaming.